In the beginning of the drama, we see the male lead, Jing, who, along with being handsome, was also a 4-star chef who had never lost any competition. Now, we see another chef who had a competition with Jing today. In this competition, whichever chef wins, the losing chef gives his knife to the winning chef, which means that the losing chef will now close his restaurant forever. In the next scene, the competition starts, and Jing wins this competition. After winning this competition, Jing had become a 5-star chef. In the next scene, we see the female lead, Li Nai, who works in a 5-star hotel. She is carrying fish when her friend Can comes and says, "Where were you?" Just then, the chef from there arrives, whose name was Master Kong. He tells Li Nai to take the fish inside. In the next scene, Jing was sitting in his car discussing his next competition. Just then, his assistant asks, "Now that you are already a chef, why compete?" Jing says, "There is someone I want to defeat, and that is Mr. Kong." Now, we see a scene from the past where Jing was crying and requesting Mr. Kong, "Please teach my sister to cook," because she wanted to become a chef. But Mr. Kong doesn't listen to him and leaves. Now, we see the present scene. Jing becomes emotional. That's why he wanted to shut down Mr. Kong's restaurant in some way to break his pride. In the next scene, Li Nai is standing at a stall at night. Just then, an uncle says to her, "Li Nai, now that you have a job in a 5-star hotel, why do you set up this stall?" Li Nai says, "So that I can become more perfect in cooking." Now, she quickly starts preparing food for her customer. Just then, Jing comes there and asks her to make fish noodles. But Li Nai refuses and says, "Sorry, sir, the fish is finished." Jing says, "Today, I feel like eating only fish noodles, and that's what I want to eat." Just then, Li Nai gets fish from the adjacent stall and starts making fish noodles. Now, as soon as Li Nai starts cutting the fish, Jing starts watching her very carefully. Seeing this, Li Nai starts feeling a little awkward. Now Li Nai starts cutting the fish into thin pieces. Even then, Jing was still looking at her. So Li Nai says, "Sir, don't worry, I won't mix poison in your dish." Jing says, "I was just watching you cutting the fish the wrong way. Tilt it and cut it at 50 degrees. When Li Nai cuts the fish that way, it cuts easily." Li Nai says, "It seems you know a little bit about cooking." Hearing this, Jing gives an attitude look and sits down. Just then, the patrol van arrives there, seeing which everyone starts running away because setting up stalls at that place was not allowed. Jing says, "But what about my noodles?" Li Nai says, "I will make them for you some other time." Saying this, she pulls her table and chair and leaves, which causes Jing to fall. In next scene, after some time, Jing was leaving from there. Just then, Li Nai comes and says, "Oh wow, you are still here. So, shall I make you fish noodles?" But Jing doesn't listen to her and ignores her. Li Nai says sorry to him and says, "We had to do this. Otherwise, I would never be able to set up a stall. Please agree, please." Jing agrees, so Li Nai quickly starts preparing dish, and Jing starts watching her again. Now, Li Nai finally prepares the fish noodles and is about to give them to him. But just then, the patrol van arrives again. Seeing it, the noodles fall from Li Nai's hands, and she runs away at full speed. Seeing this, Jing thinks, how does she disappear so quickly? In next scene, Jing's car stops outside a 5-star hotel, which Li Nai starts watching from inside, but she can't see anything. Who is inside? Jing was also watching her actions and thinks, if she can't see anything, why is she peeking? Just then, Master Kong arrives there and takes Li Nai inside. In next scene, Jing now goes inside that hotel, so Master Kong understands the 5-star chef is Jing. That's why he welcomes him well. But Jing says, "I haven't come to eat your dish, but to challenge you." Hearing this, Master Kong is a little shocked but accepts the challenge. In the next scene, the competition starts. Li Nai is Master Kong's assistant, but Jing is alone because he liked to do all his work by himself. And they both had to make fish noodles. Now, Master Kong and Jing start making fish noodles. Then Master Kong gives his knife to Li Nai and tells her to cut the fish. Li Nai says, "I'm not ready yet." Master Kong says, "If I lose, you will never be able to use this knife." Hearing this, Li Nai says, "But that won't happen, because I believe you will win this competition." But Master Kong doesn't agree. So finally today, Li Nai holds this knife and cuts the fish as Master Kong instructs. Now, in same way, Li Nai also follows Kong's old tricks, and Jing is also making his dish. But when the last step comes, Master Kong stops Li Nai. Li Nai says, "But why? The last step is still remaining." Master Kong says, "I have an old story with Jing, so now let me do it." Hearing this, Li Nai quietly sits with Khan. Finally, both their dishes are ready, and the judges taste them. Can and Li Nai are very nervous. As the first vote goes to Jing, they both get angry. But the second vote goes to Master Kong, so Can and Li Nai are very happy and wait for the third vote, because whoever gets the third vote will win. Here, the third vote also goes to Jing. so Kan and Li Nai are devastated. The judge explains, both dishes were great, but Master Kong made a mistake in the flavor. Now, here we find out Master Kong has a condition because of which his sense of taste is changing. Now, Master Kong also tastes Jang's dish and is shocked that Jang has made such a good dish. Jang says, "Why, are you surprised at how far ahead I've gotten from you? And you remember how you treated me in childhood, right?" Master Kong says, "Yes, and you really deserve to win," and takes out his knife and gives it to Jang. Jang also happily takes knife. Now, Jang is going outside when Li Nai goes to him and says, "You knew that Master Kong had lost his sense of taste. That's why you competed, right?" Jang says, "Yes." Li Nai says, "That means you are a loser, and if Master Kong was well, you wouldn't have had even a 1% chance of winning against him." Jang say, "But now I have won, right? And this doesn't matter anymore." Hearing this, Li Nai gets even angrier. But just then Master Kong calls her Li Nai, and Jang is shocked because he knew this name before. Jang says, "Are you really Li Nai?" Li Nai says, "Mind your own business." As soon as Li Nai leaves, Jang receives an image, which was indeed of Li Nai. Now we see a scene from the past that Li Nai and Jang were friends in childhood. That's why Jang goes to the orphanage and asks about Li Nai. He finds out that after graduation, Li Nai has left from here, and they will send him a photo of her. Now in the present scene, that photo comes to Jang, and it is indeed Li Nai's. In the next scene, according to the rules, the restaurant was being closed, seeing which Li Nai, Kong, and Kan were very sad. Kan says bye and leaves from there, but Li Nai goes with Master Kong. In the next scene, Li Nai and Master Kong are walking on the road when they help a stall owner, which reminds Li Nai of her memories that once Master Kong had helped her in the same way and convinced her to take the restaurant job. Now Li Nai asks Master Kong, "What is your secret with Jang?" Master Kong says, "Don't worry about me. Focus on your future." Li Nai says, "I know you are very sad about losing your knife and the restaurant closing, but I promise you I will bring your knife back to you." In the next scene, Jang is sleeping when he has a childhood dream. He had brought candy for Li Nai to appease her, but Li Nai breaks her friendship with him because he used to snatch things from other children. Now Jang wakes up and is also sad. He gets up and moves a curtain, behind which there were many photos of Li Nai. Now he takes down a photo of Li Nai and looks at it with great affection. In the next scene, in his 5-star hotel, Jang says to his assistant, "I need an employee, so put up posters about this everywhere." In the next scene, Li Nai and Kan open a new restaurant. Customers start coming to the restaurant, and both of them together attend to the customers. Now, as evening approaches and it's time to close the restaurant, Li Nai's eyes fall on the leftover plates, and she thinks, "How did so much food go to waste today?" Just then, Kan comes running and says, "The inspection people are outside." Hearing this, Li Nai is shocked. The inspection people say, "We have come to close this restaurant. Your restaurant's ranking are very bad." In the next scene, Li Nai is going to her apartment when she falls, and she blames Jiang for this too and says, "Ever since Jiang came into my life, only bad things have been happening." Jiang is standing right behind Li Nai and says, "You fell on your own. Why are you blaming me for it?" Li Nai says, "How are you here? Do you want to snatch someone's knife again?" Jiang says, "I recently bought an apartment and I am going there." Hearing this, Li Nai asks him for the building number and Jiang says, 30. Hearing this, Li Nai gets even angrier and says, "That's my number too. That means we are neighbors. You are truly increasing my bad luck." Saying this, she starts to leave and is about to fall again, but Jiang catches her from behind. Li Nai is shocked, and Jiang calls her stupid and starts to leave. Just then, Li Nai's eyes fall on the fish and she thinks, he must be making fish noodles. That's why she says to Jiang, "Can I also come with you to see the apartment? And I am hungry too. You can make something and feed me." Jiang says, "But I am bad luck for you." Li Nai says, No, it's not like that. My bad luck is over now." In the next scene, Jiang was cooking, and Li Nai was looking at his house. Just then, she looks at a photo, but she hears Jiang's phone ringing, so she tells Jiang, but he doesn't listen. That's why Li Nai herself goes into his room and starts to pick up the phone, but she can't find it. So she starts going towards a cabinet where Jiang had also kept Li Nai's photo. Just then, Jiang comes there and tells her to come out. In the next scene, Jiang serves the food. Now, as soon as Li Nai eats those noodles, she likes them a lot and doesn't stop even once and keeps eating, which Jiang keeps watching. Now, as soon as Li Nai finishes the noodles, Jiang gives her a tissue, thinking she will praise his noodles. But Li Nai starts crying and says, "My restaurant has closed. The public was giving us bad comments." Jiang says, "Oh, really?" Li Nai says, "Earlier, I used to think I was a perfect chef, but after tasting your noodles today, I remembered my position." Jiang says, "You don't need to compare yourself to me." Li Nai says, "But as for the knife of Mr. Kong that you snatched, I will definitely take it back." Hearing this, Jiang is disappointed and says, "I will wait." Li Nai says thanks to him for the noodles and leaves from there. In the next scene, someone comes to meet Jiang and says, "Don't you remember your elder brother? And his name is Yang." and then he starts drinking the water left by Li Nai, but Jiang stops him. Hearing this, the person notices the glass on which there were lipstick marks. Seeing that, the person says, "A girl must have come before I arrived." Now Jiang also starts looking at the lipstick marks and picks up the glass and leaves. In the next scene, Li Nai sees a poster that a 5-star hotel needs an employee. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to Kan, and Kan tells her, "If you want to get Mr. Kong's knife back, you will have to get a job in a good 5-star restaurant." Hearing this, Li Nai becomes happy. In the next scene, Li Nai goes for an interview at that same restaurant. Now Jiang is watching from the camera, and when he sees Li Nai, he is shocked and asks his assistant, "What position has Li Nai applied for?" The assistant says, "She has applied for all the jobs, except for the warehouse keeper job." In the next scene, Li Nai fails all the job tests, and now a cooking test was remaining. So Song asks her, "Aren't you nervous?" Li Nai had just befriended Song, who had come for an interview. Li Nai says, "No, because I know I will win this test." In the next scene, the cooking test starts. The assistant is standing to taste when Jiang comes and says, "I will check this round." Now, as he looks at Li Nai's dish, it's a flower. Li Nai says, "I made this from a tomato." Now Jiang tastes both their dishes and selects Song because his dish was better than Li Nai's. In the next scene, we see Jing Jing, who also has a 5-star restaurant and wanted to hire Li Nai in her restaurant because she believed Master Kong could never keep someone like that with him. There must be something special about that girl. In the next scene, Li Nai tells Khan, "When Jiang announced the result, they didn't hire me as a chef, but as a warehouse keeper." Li Nai asks Jiang, "Why did you hire me for a job I didn't even apply for?" Jiang says, "Take the job you're getting, otherwise you won't get this job either." Hearing this, after thinking, Li Nai says yes. In the next scene, Song teases Li Nai and says, "You have a cooking business, so you will teach me a lot." Hearing this, Li Nai starts laughing loudly and says, "That's just a street stall." Seeing this, Jiang starts to get jealous. In the next scene, everyone is cooking, and Li Nai is watching them secretly. Just then, Jiang asks for fish, and Li Nai immediately brings him the fish and says, "Shall I cut it for you?" Seeing this, Jiang gets angry at the assistant and says, "Hasn't anyone told her the rules that a warehouse keeper cannot come into the kitchen?" Seeing this, Li Nai is shocked and gets very angry. In the next scene, all the employees are eating food when Song says, "Li Nai hasn't come. I'll go call her." Just then, Jiang comes and stops Song and goes to call Li Nai himself. In the next scene, Li Nai is picking up some things and is about to fall when Jiang comes and catches her, and they both quickly step back. Li Nai says, "What are you doing here?" Jiang says, "Everyone is calling you for lunch." And then Jiang says, "Sorry," and says, "As an apology, I am changing a rule. From now on, you can also come to the kitchen to help the chefs." Hearing this, Li Nai is shocked, and while drinking water, water starts spilling from her mouth, but Jiang stops it. Now, after Jiang leaves, Li Nai becomes very happy and starts dancing and shouting, but Jiang is watching her and smiling, and says, "This girl is really crazy." Now, as Jiang is leaving with a smile, he meets his brother Yang, who tells him about the next competition, which was with Jing Jing. In the next scene, Jiang and Li Nai go to Jing Jing's restaurant to eat, which is quite expensive, and Jiang also orders the most expensive food. Li Nai says, "Can I treat you to a meal next time? Because I don't have money." Jiang says, "Okay, but in return you won't quit your job right now." Li Nai says, "Why did you select me for the warehouse keeper job?" Jiang says, "You were selected on your own." Then we see a scene from the past where no one could tell which spice it was by smelling it. Just then, Li Nai comes and tells by smelling which box contains which spice, which is why Li Nai was selected. Now, in the present scene, Jiang says, "You have a very sharp nose, which makes you unique. That's why I gave you the warehouse keeper job." In the next scene, they both finish eating and come out, and there's something on Li Nai's lips. Jiang starts to clean it but stops and tells Li Nai to clean it herself. Now, on the way home, Li Nai meets Jing Jing, who offers her a job and asks for Jiang's information, but Li Nai refuses. In the next scene, Li Nai has difficulty going home, so she remembers Jiang's words when Jiang asked her to do 2 things. First, she has to remember the smell and taste of the dishes Jiang is making her taste today. Jing Jing will definitely come to meet her, so she has to tell Jiang what they talk about. This means Jiang already knew that Jing Jing wanted to meet Li Nai. In the next scene, Li Nai is going to her apartment when Jiang stops her, who was waiting for her with an umbrella. Li Nai is surprised and says, "How are you here? I mean, were you waiting for me to come?" Jiang says, "Yes, because it's raining heavily." And then Jiang gives Li Nai soup so that she doesn't get cold. Li Nai becomes happy seeing how much Jiang cares for her. Therefore, Li Nai tells Jiang everything. "Yes, it happened just as you said. Jing Jing came to meet me and offered me more money to get me on her side." Jiang says, "Then what did you say? Did you accept her offer?" Li Nai says, "No, I flatly refused to join her team because I don't want to cheat anyone." Hearing this, Jiang becomes happy. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to the restaurant and finds out that the restaurant is closed for 3 days. Now, as Li Nai is about to leave, she sees a person, and they both ask each other, "Who are you?" In the next scene, Li Nai and the person are sitting together. The person introduces himself. "I am Fing, and I am the senior chef here." Just then, Jiang's assistant comes and says, "I am going to Mr. Jiang's house to give him his knife kit, because he has to prepare for the competition." Hearing this, Li Nai says, "Give it to me. I will give this kit to Mr. Jiang because we are neighbors." In the next scene, Li Nai takes the knife kit and goes to Jiang's house, only to find out that Jiang is not at home. So she calls Jiang, and Jiang tells her his house password, which allows Li Nai to go inside. Over here, Jiang remembers that he has put up photos of his enemies and friends in his house, so he goes back to his house. In the next scene, Jiang goes to his house, and Li Nai looks at him angrily. So Jiang thinks that Li Nai knows everything, but it's not like that. Li Nai says, "You are the person who got me negative comments and had my restaurant shut down." Jiang says, "Yes, because I didn't want you to work in any other restaurant." Hearing this, Li Nai gets angry, so Jiang says, "I'll make you an offer. You bring me seafood because when I went to get it, they didn't give it to me because all those seafood shops belong to Jing Jing, so no one was giving me seafood. And if you use your sharp nose to bring me fresh seafood, in return, I will make you an official chef of my restaurant." Li Nai says, "Not just that, but you will also have me as your assistant in the competition." Hearing this, Jiang agrees. In the next scene, Li Nai comes to the market with Khan and takes all the fresh seafood by smelling it. It takes them a lot of time, and it also starts raining. Here, Jiang is cooking while listening to the news. Just then, it is announced on the news, the weather outside is bad. Hearing this, Jiang cuts his hand and gets worried. Why did I send Li Nai outside? In the next scene, Li Nai finally brings the seafood, and she is very drenched. Seeing this, Jiang is shocked and sees that all the seafood is fresh. Now, Li Nai sees the cut on his hand and applies a bandage. Seeing this, Jiang is happy in his heart that Li Nai also cares for me. Now they start cooking, and Li Nai was giving everything to Jiang after smelling it so that the dish would be fresh. And they have to make seafood just like Jing Jing, so they try one dish again and again. Now, after working the whole day, Jiang gets tired and faints. Li Nai quickly comes to him and is shocked. What happened to him? Is he dead? But he was alive. In the next scene, Jiang wakes up and is surprised to see Li Nai. Did Li Nai really take care of me all night? So, he thanks Li Nai from the bottom of his heart and then goes to practice the dish again. So Li Nai thinks, now I understand why he is such a good chef, until he is 100% sure. In the next scene, everyone is at the competition venue. Just then, Jing Jing comes to Li Nai and says, my offer is still there for you. Just then, Jiang comes there and says, no thanks, Li Nai is happy with me. So Jing Jing wishes them good luck and leaves. In the next scene, the competition starts, where everyone gives their best and uses their skills. Jiang was also making things after having Li Nai smell them, so that the dish would be unique. In the next scene, after cooking for some time, the dish is finally ready, and the judges like Jing Jing's dish a lot. Seeing this, Jing Jing is very happy. But when they taste Jiang's dish, they like Jiang's dish a lot too, and they ask, how did you make the green sauce? Jiang says, with the help of seagrass. This idea was given to him by Li Nai. Now it's time for voting. One vote goes to Jing Jing, and one goes to Jiang. Now it was time for the third vote, so everyone becomes quiet. As the third vote goes to Jiang, and he is announced the winner, Li Nai happily hugs Jiang tightly, seeing which Jiang also starts smiling. And now, according to the rules, Jing Jing gives her knife to Jiang. In the next scene, Jiang's grandpa first introduces a chef to everyone and then says, I am making my granddaughter Susie the head chef of my hotel. In the next scene, we see Susie, who was Jiang's sister. In the next scene, Jiang and Li Nai are leaving when Yang comes there and says, Susie has returned from abroad. Hearing this, Jiang turns, and Susie says hi to him. Just then, Li Nai gets a call that her father is missing. Hearing this, Li Nai gets worried and takes leave and goes. So Jiang also starts to follow her. Then Yang says, you won't meet Susie and congratulate her? But Jiang doesn't listen to him and goes after Li Nai. Seeing this, Susie becomes sad. In the next scene, Li Nai and Jiang look for her dad together. In the next scene, Li Nai tells everything to Kan, and Kan says, but you said Jiang is rude. Li Nai says, yes, but he is changing now. Just then, Kan gives Li Nai zoo tickets and says, you can come with your uncle and, as a thank you, bring Jiang to the zoo as well. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to Jiang's house where Jiang had just taken a bath. Li Nai says, should I dry your hair? But she herself goes inside and starts drying Jiang's hair and says, your hair is so soft. I have heard that people with soft hair also have very soft hearts. Jiang says, I have never heard such nonsense before today. Then, in the middle of their conversation, Li Nai says, I want to take you to the zoo tomorrow as a thank you, and I also need a day off for tomorrow. Jiang says, oh, so that's why you were behaving so nicely with me, and then refuses. Hearing this, Li Nai picks up the ticket and starts to leave. Just then, Jiang says, you can take tomorrow off, and I will try to come. Hearing this, Li Nai happily leaves from there. In the next scene, Li Nai is going to the zoo with her father when Jiang comes and sits there, which surprises Li Nai. Li Nai's dad says, oh, Jiang, my boy, you. Jiang says, uncle, do you remember me? Dad says, yes, you have grown so much. Hearing this, Li Nai silences her dad and says, he is my boss, not my childhood friend Jiang. In the next scene, the three of them go to the zoo and are very happy and enjoy a lot. There, Jiang also has some photos clicked by Li Nai. Now Li Nai is very happy to see the bubbles, so Jiang also brings balloons for her. Now, seeing the swans, Li Nai's dad insists that he has to feed them bread. So Li Nai starts taking bread out of her bag, which is with Jiang, and Li Nai gets very close to him, which makes Jiang's heart beat faster. Now, while feeding the swans bread, Li Nai looks very cute. Seeing this, Jiang clicks her photo and is smiling while looking at it. Just then, Li Nai's father sees the photo and angrily says, who are you to click my daughter's photo? Just then, Li Nai comes there and Jiang gets very scared. But the thought slips from Dad's mind. Just then, Can arrives there, seeing whom Li Nai is very happy. But Jiang is not happy because when he sees Li Nai and Can together, he starts to get jealous. In the next scene, Jiang gets a fever and is smiling while looking at Li Nai's photo. Now, Jiang is going to the hospital when he meets Li Nai, so he takes Li Nai with him to the hospital to help. In the next scene, Jiang is repeatedly bothering Li Nai, sometimes by asking for something and sometimes for something else, because Jiang was enjoying teasing Li Nai. Just then, Li Nai brings an egg and hits it on Jiang's head. Jiang says, what are you doing? Li Nai says, my dad said doing this brings the fever down. Just then, Jiang remembers a childhood scene where Li Nai had broken an egg on his head, so Jiang says, this is all nonsense, nothing like this happens. Now, in the middle of their conversation, Li Nai starts talking about Can, saying, Can is very nice. Hearing this, Jiang gets jealous and after fighting with Li Nai, tells her to go home, so Li Nai leaves. In the next scene, after some time, when Jiang is about to go home, he has a lot of trouble due to the rain. Just then, Li Nai comes there with an umbrella and supports Jiang and says, I didn't leave you, I went to get an umbrella. Hearing this, Jiang gets very emotional and says sorry to Li Nai from the bottom of his heart. In the next scene, Li Nai is going home when Susie comes and says, because of you, my brother ignored me, and I can't share my brother with anyone, so stay away from him. And then Susie says, I heard that your smelling power is very good. Let's have a competition. Hearing this, Li Nai agrees because she had full faith in her smelling power. Just then, Song and Fing arrive there. So they make them judges and start their competition. And they order things that have the smell of eggs. Now, when it's time for the result, Susie wins this competition, and Li Nai is shocked to hear this because Susie's smelling power was also very strong, and no one had been able to defeat her till date. In the next scene, Jiang and Li Nai are very happy to go to the child center because they have many memories here. Now, when Li Nai comes out, she sees her childhood photo and says, hey, this is me. And who is this boy with me? He is that same best friend with whom I used to live, but why do I feel like I have seen him? In the next scene, Jiang remembers his memories. Now we see a scene from the past where, in childhood, all the children accused Jiang of theft, and only Li Nai supported Jiang and said, Jiang is very innocent. From that day, Jiang and Li Nai became best friends and used to spend the whole day together because Li Nai only stayed at the childcare center during the day. Now in the present scene, Jiang cries a lot and says, Li Nai, why don't you recognize me after all? In the next scene, when everyone was going back, Feng tells Li Nai to go with Jiang in the car because there was no space in the van. So she sits in the car with Jiang and, after thinking a lot, she asks Jiang, why are you so attached to this orphanage? Jiang says, I spent my entire childhood here, and I also had a friend who was very lovely and always supported me. Hearing this, Li Nai becomes certain that Jiang might be her childhood best friend. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to the child center to meet the children, and the manager there says, you and Jiang are still the same as you were before. Hearing this, Li Nai becomes 100% certain that her boss Jiang is her childhood friend. In the next scene, Li Nai calls Can and tells him to open a new restaurant. Now, Li Nai and Can go to find a place for the restaurant, but it is very expensive, so Can and Li Nai get tired and sit down. In the next scene, Feng is outside, and Li Nai and Can are following him. Feng gets into a car and leaves, but Li Nai gets a call from someone, because of which she doesn't go, and Can goes after Feng. As soon as she hears the call, Li Nai is surprised because someone wanted to meet her. In the next scene, Feng goes into a restaurant, and Can also goes inside after him and says, why is it so dark here? Just then, Susie comes from behind and says, "Fool, take off your sunglasses." When Kan sees Susie, he likes Susie a lot at first sight. In the next scene, Linai goes to meet Song at Jiang's restaurant, where Jiang looks at her strangely. At first, Linai doesn't understand anything, but then Song says, "As a good chef, the position that should have been mine, you got. And as an assistant, I would have worked with Jiang in the competition, but you went there too. From the beginning, you have been snatching my place." Linai explains to him, "No, it's not like that." Just then, Song throws petrol on her and is about to light it, but Linai throws spices on him, which causes the lighter to fall. Just then, Jiang comes there, and Song says, "Okay, you have come here too. Now you both will die together." Before Song can do anything, Linai again throws spices on Song, grabs Jiang's hand, and runs away from there. She stops at one place and asks Jiang, "Jiang, are you okay?" Hearing this, Jiang thinks, "Why is she calling me by my old name?" Then he asks Linai, "You found out that I am your childhood friend?" Before Linai can say anything, they hear the sound of a police horn, hearing which they both start smiling. In the next scene, Linai finalizes a place to open her restaurant, and just then, she gets a call from Jiang, who was calling her to meet. In the next scene, Linai goes to meet Jiang. Jiang says, "When you found out that I was Jiang, why didn't you ask me? Weren't you curious?" Linai says, "No, there was nothing for me to ask." Now, we see a scene from the past where Jiang was going with Feng's father, and his father asks Jiang to say bye to his friends, but Jiang refuses and says, "My friend won't let me go." That's why Jiang couldn't tell Linai about his departure. Now, in the present scene, Linai was angry about this somewhere. Then Jiang says, "Come to the restaurant tomorrow." Linai says, "I am quitting the job because I want to open my own restaurant." Hearing this, Jiang gets angry and says, "How can you do this? Have you forgotten the contract that you had to inform 1 month before quitting the job? And if you do this, I will cut your salary. Who knows, I might not give you anything at all." Saying this, Jiang leaves from there. In the next scene, Linai doesn't do any work properly in the restaurant. Jiang grabs her and says, "Why are you doing this?" Now we see a scene from the past where Ken tells Linai, "You have to mess up every job and not do any work well. Seeing this, Jiang will fire you." Now in the present scene, Linai is doing all this for this reason. In the next scene, Linai is going home when Jiang catches her and doesn't let her go home but makes her sit in a meeting because they all had to go out for some work. But Linai was not at all interested in this meeting. Just then, Susie comes there and says, "I also want to go with you." But Jiang flatly refuses and leaves from there. Just then, Linai starts laughing at Susie, which Susie doesn't like at all. In the next scene, Linai calls Jiang and says, "I won't be able to come today because I am not feeling well." But Jiang had already come to pick her up, which is why Linai has to go. In the next scene, Kan says to the dentist, "Please extract the tooth gently." Just then, the doctor hands Kan a bottle and says, "When it hurts, squeeze this." Now the doctor starts extracting the tooth. Just then, Susie comes there, and the bottle falls from Kan's hand, and he grabs Susie's hand and starts squeezing it tightly. Susie is in a lot of pain and also screams loudly. In the next scene, Kan gives Susie food and apologizes to her, and Susie says, "It's okay?" Susie asks Kan, "Tell me where Linai, Jiang, and the others have gone." Kan doesn't say anything, so Susie says it very lovingly, and Kan can't resist and tells everything. In the next scene, Jiang reaches the location with his employees, and Susie is also present there. In the next scene, we see all of them together where they are told that they all have to play a game, and that is, they have to act in a drama. Hearing this, Susie is happy, but Linai and Kan were talking from behind. Seeing this, Jiang gets jealous. In the next scene, Linai, dressed up for the drama, was looking for her partner, who was Jiang. Just then, Linai sees Jiang and keeps looking at him. Just then, Susie comes and starts saying, "Brother, you look so handsome, but being the partner of a foolish girl like Linai doesn't suit you. She will definitely make you lose." Hearing this, Linai starts replying to her. After Linai leaves, Susie asks, "Brother, have you really started to like this strange girl?" Jiang says nothing and leaves from there. He stops Linai and gives her earrings and says, "I bought these for you." Hearing this, Linai is shocked and says, "For me? Really?" But Jiang changes the subject and says, "You are my partner, that's why. Don't think anything else. Now, try them on." When Linai tried to wear them, she couldn't put the earring on properly. So Jiang helps Linai. Here, the moment suddenly becomes romantic, and both were feeling something for each other. But Jiang backs away later, and Linai thanks him. In the next scene, everyone is ready for the act. Just then, a person comes running and says, "Someone has been murdered." Hearing this, everyone goes there, and it turns out to be a fake body. Actually, they all get a task. They have to find out who committed the murder. So they all start heading towards the jungle. In the next scene, Jiang finds a secret room. When Linai and Jiang go inside, it's very dark. So Jiang turns on his phone's flashlight and starts hiding his mobile because he had set a picture of himself and Linai as the wallpaper so that Linai wouldn't see it. it. Even then, Li Nai sees about 50% of it, but wasn't sure if it was her photo. They both found many clues here. They were just looking at them when a person locks them in here, and it's none other than Jang's uncle, Sean. Li Nai and Jang get very worried about who could do such a thing. On top of that, Jang's mobile also turns off due to a dead battery. In the next scene, Sean is running, and Susie sees him and understands that something is wrong. She tells Can to catch her uncle. In the next scene, Li Nai starts having trouble breathing due to a lack of oxygen, which makes Jiang even more worried, and he tells Li Nai to be brave. But Li Nai faints, and Jiang tries his best to wake her up. Now we see a scene from the past where Jiang's father hides him in a cabinet. Just then, some people come and kill Jiang's father. Seeing this, Jiang cries a lot. Now we see the present scene where Susie tortures her uncle. Why did you come here? And where is my brother? As always, you've done something to him, haven't you? Sean doesn't say anything, so Susie picks up a stick and is about to hit Mr. Sean with it when Mr. Sean tells everything. I locked Jiang in the bamboo place. Hearing this, Susie immediately goes to save her brother. In the next scene, Li Nai is still unconscious, and now Jiang's condition is also worsening. But still, to save Li Nai, he decides to give her oxygen, which is why he kisses Li Nai. And because of doing all this, Jiang's heartbeat also becomes fast. In the next scene, both Li Nai and Jiang are admitted to the hospital. This means Susie had saved them both. Just then, Li Nai woke up and started looking at Jiang with a lot of love, but she thinks that Jiang is about to wake up, so she runs and lies down on her bed. Then Jiang starts laughing because he found out that Li Nai was with him. So now he starts looking at Li Nai with a lot of love, but Li Nai doesn't wake up. But when Jiang leaves, Li Nai acts as if she was sleeping and wakes up. Li Nai says, "Mr. Jiang, you are here?" Jiang asks, "Are you okay?" Li Nai says, "Yes." Now, as soon as Li Nai is about to put on her slippers, Jiang himself starts putting the slippers on her, and that too with a lot of love. Li Nai is surprised to see this behavior of Jiang. Just then, Can comes running, and seeing them both together says, "I have come at the wrong time." Then, as always, Li Nai starts hitting Can. Just then, Li Nai's father also comes there, who brings fruits with him, and he throws a leaf on Li Nai's face, and Li Nai accidentally throws it on Jiang's face, and then says sorry to Jiang. In the next scene, when Li Nai is discharged from the hospital, she was talking to Can while leaving. Jiang sees them both together and gets jealous. He bumps into them and walks ahead. Now, just as Jiang is about to get into a taxi, Li Nai's dad calls out, "Jiang, son, you also come with us." Hearing this, Jiang starts coming towards them, but Li Nai didn't want Jiang to go with them, so she quickly gets into the car. But just then, Jiang holds the car door and asks Li Nai, "Do you remember the fish that I sent to your house?" Li Nai says, "I still have it." Jiang said, "Okay, I will come to your house to see it." Hearing this, Li Nai was about to hit her head, but Jiang put his hand and saved her, and after saying bye to Li Nai very lovingly, leaves. In the next scene, Jiang goes to Li Nai's house to see the fish. He looks at the fish, whose condition he didn't find good. He asks Li Nai, "You don't take proper care of it, do you?" Li Nai is changing the water in the aquarium, and water comes on her face, which Jiang lovingly cleans. Li Nai's heartbeat becomes fast seeing Jiang so close to her. Just then, Jiang steps back and starts asking, "Do you remember the scene from that day when we were locked? Because I felt like you were a little conscious at that time when I kissed you." Actually, when Jiang kissed Li Nai was a little conscious, but she acts as if she doesn't know anything. Jiang says, "I did all that to give you oxygen. If you are ignoring me because of that, then sorry." Li Nai says, "Don't be sorry. I'll consider it a dog bite." Jiang says, "Dog?" Hearing this, Li Nai quickly says, "Hot dog," and starts looking at the fish. Jiang sits there and, gathering a lot of courage, asks, "You don't hate me now, do you?" Li Nai says, "No, I don't hate you. I'm just busy these days, so I can't talk to you." Hearing this, Jiang feels relieved and, after saying bye to Li Nai very lovingly, leaves. Li Nai, watching Jiang leave, becomes happy, as if she was happy talking to Jiang for the first time. In the next scene, Jiang and Li Nai go to a camp location. Li Nai says, "Why did you bring me with you?" Jiang says, "So that you can work with me. For this, I will give you an extra salary." Hearing this, Li Nai agrees and goes to take out the camp equipment. In the next scene, Can was standing in his restaurant thinking, "I wish I could also spend time with Susie today." Just then, the first customer of their restaurant, Susie, arrives. Can says, "Who told you this is my restaurant?" Susie says, "No, I was just passing by and thought I'd have a beer." In the next scene, Jang and Li Nai were trying to catch a fish, but Jang couldn't catch it. Li Nai then says she's going home, so Jang pretends to be hurt. Li Nai quickly goes to him and says, "Are you okay?" and then starts hitting Jiang because she understood that Jiang was acting. In the next scene, Jiang was frying the fish, and Li Nai says, "Don't you think my camp is weak? I mean, your camp is much better." Jiang says, "That's your misunderstanding. Now be quiet and let me fry the fish." In the next scene, after dinner, Li Nai and Jiang were drinking tea when it starts to rain, which ruins Li Nai's tent. So Jiang says, "It's okay, you can sleep in the car." Hearing this, Linai goes to check the car's condition, and Jong had done all this intentionally because he knew it was going to rain today. Now Linai quickly comes back, and she's feeling cold, so Jong covers her with a blanket. Then Linai says, "There is no space in the car." Jong says, "It's okay. You can sleep in my tent. I will adjust in the car." Linai stops Jong and says, "Please don't go in the car because if you get a fever, you will blame me. Why don't we both sleep in the same tent?" Hearing this, Jong starts looking at Linai. In the next scene, Jong and Linai were lying in the same tent, where they both were feeling very nervous. Just then, Linai is looking for her mobile when her hand touches Jong's hand. Jong says, "What happened?" Linai says, "I was looking for my mobile." Hearing this, Jong finds Linai's mobile and gives it to her. Linai keeps the mobile with her, and as it strikes 12 o'clock, Linai wishes Jong a happy new year. Hearing this, Jong becomes very happy and wishes Linai as well. Now they both were looking at each other smiling. Just then, Linai turns and uses her mobile for a long time, so Jong tells her to sleep and Linai puts her mobile away. In the next scene, Susie had gotten very drunk, so Can tells her to go home. But Susie doesn't agree and pulls Can close to her and says, "Do you like me?" Can says, "Yes, a lot." Hearing this, Susie directly kisses him, which surprises Can, and he kisses Susie back. In the next scene, Linai had come back to her restaurant. Just then, a lady comes with her daughter and says, "Today is my daughter's birthday. I couldn't celebrate because I was busy with work. Now that I am free from work, all the restaurants are closed. Before you close your restaurant, can you make something for my daughter? She loves Western food." Linai says, "I don't have knowledge of Western food, but I will definitely try." In the next scene, after making a lot of things, she serves them, and they also like the taste of Linai's food very much. Now, after eating, the little girl was about to leave and says to Linai, "I will tell many people about your restaurant." In the next scene, Linai goes to Jong to thank him because Jong had taught her how to make all these dishes. Jong says, "If you are free, let's have dinner together." Linai agrees, so Jong takes her to his house where they both have dinner together and also talk a lot. Now, as something gets on Linai's mouth, Jong gets close to Linai and cleans it with a lot of love, so Linai keeps looking at Jong and Jong at Linai. Just then, Jong goes to kitchen to get water, and Linai says, "I want to drink wine." Jong says, "The wine in my room. Go and get it." Now, as soon as Linai goes into the room, she sees all those photos of Jong's enemies. Seeing this, Linai is shocked. Just then, Zhang comes there and says, "It's not what you are thinking." But Linai doesn't listen to a word he says and starts to leave. Just then, Zhang brings Linai outside Mr. Kong's restaurant and explains, "When I brought my sister here to learn cooking, I pleaded with Mr. Kong a lot, but he refused at Grandpa's request." Hearing this, Linai becomes quiet. Zhang says, "Tell me, wasn't it wrong of Mr. Kong to do that at Grandpa's request? That's why I decided that day that I would snatch Mr. Kong's knife." Hearing this, Linai says nothing because she also started to find Zhang's words to be right. In the next scene, many customers come to Linai's restaurant, sent by that little girl. Now, Linai's restaurant also starts getting good reviews, which makes Linai's restaurant famous. In the next scene, Linai had come to meet Jing Jing at her restaurant, and she says to Jing Jing, "My restaurant is running out of ingredients, so tell me where I can buy ingredients." So Jing Jing says, "There is a person who will give you ingredients at a low price." In the next scene, Linai is waiting for that person, and that person is Yang. Seeing him, Linai is surprised and has him taste her dishes. Yang likes the dishes a lot. He says, "I am ready to sell ingredients to your restaurant, and you will go with me to the restaurant to see them." Linai agrees. Now, Yang is taking Linai to his restaurant, and Yang tells Linai to wait and leaves because he had come to meet Zhang. Seeing Zhang, Linai is stunned and starts to hide. She also comes out of the car, which is why Zhang sees her and says, "Linai, what are you doing here?" Hearing this, Linai quickly says, "Nothing." And just then, her foot gets injured, which makes it difficult for her to walk. So Zhang leaves his urgent work and goes with Linai. In the next scene, Zhang holds Linai's leg and starts applying medicine to it and starts worrying about her. Linai, seeing Zhang taking care of her, just keeps looking at him. Then Zhang picks up Linai and takes her with him. In the next scene, Linai comes outside and sees Jiang's car, and seeing it, she starts to leave. Just then, Jiang comes and catches her and takes her to the restaurant with him and keeps an eye on her. In the next scene, Can came to meet the CEO of a very big news company, and this is none other than Can's elder sister. This means that Can is from a rich family. Can says, "Please get our restaurant an interview." After insisting a lot, Can's sister agrees. In the next scene, Linai is going home when Zhang catches her from behind and says, "Can we have dinner together today?" Linai starts thinking, could it be that Zhang has started to like me? Then she says no to Zhang, saying she has important work. Hearing this, Zhang says, "It's okay, come late, but do come. I will wait." Linai says okay. Now, as Li Nai is leaving from there, Zhang's assistant tells her to get in the car. Now, as Li Nai sits in the car, she notices some reports. The assistant says, "Do you know where Mr. Kong is?" Li Nai says, "Yes, he has gone for a walk in the mountains." The assistant says, "No, that's not true. He is admitted to the hospital." In the next scene, Li Nai goes directly to meet Mr. Kong and starts crying as soon as she goes. "Why didn't you tell me?" Just then, Kan also comes there, and he also starts crying because Mr. Kong had gotten into a very bad state after his knife was seized. Mr. Kong says, "I am fine and will be discharged." Hearing this, Kan and Li Nai become normal and say, "You know, we have opened our new restaurant and you must see it." Hearing this, Mr. Kong agrees, and then they both take Mr. Kong from there with full excitement. In the next scene, Li Nai makes many dishes and serves them to Mr. Congress. After tasting, Mr. Kong praises Li Nai a lot and says, "Finally, you have learned to cook." Then, he also praises Kan. "You have managed the restaurant so well." Then the three of them start talking. Just then, Mr. Kong's health deteriorates, and he starts having trouble breathing, so Kan calls an ambulance. In the next scene, Zhang came to his restaurant and received a notice for his next challenger. He tells Feng this, "I have received a challenge from the Li family." So Feng says, "Could it be Li Nai's family?" Zhang says, "No, because Li Nai doesn't have any such family knife with a 5-star rating." In the next scene, Li Nai was very nervous about how she would defeat Zhang, so Kan relaxes her, and here we find out that Li Nai is indeed competing with Zhang. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to the restaurant, and Zhang ignores her and says, "I have resigned, and after today, you don't need to be my assistant in any competition either." Hearing this, Li Nai is surprised. Zhang does this because he thinks that Li Nai has rejected him because he defeated Mr. Congress. In the next scene, Yang tells his grandpa that Zhang's next competition is with the Li family. Grandpa says, "The Li family used to be very famous in this city, but then suddenly this family's name disappeared from the cooking line. If Zhang defeats them, I will be very happy and will make Zhang the head chef of my restaurant." In the next scene, Li Nai and Kan were preparing for the competition by making new dishes. Just then, they see Zhang. Seeing Zhang, they both hide. Zhang had come here trying to find out about the Li family, who the chef of the Li family is, and what his skills are like. Now Li Nai gets an idea and goes to Zhang and says, "I followed you here because I wanted to see the Li restaurant with you." Zhang is happy to see her. Now Zhang and Li Nai are sitting inside the restaurant. Just then, Li Nai gets a message from Kan. "Please come to the kitchen quickly." Seeing this, Li Nai asks, "I have a lot of pain in my stomach," so she starts going to the washroom. But Zhang doesn't pay any attention to her at all. Just as he would get worried seeing her in pain before, this time Zhang did nothing because he had some suspicion about Li Nai. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to the kitchen and Kan had called Jing Jing there. Jing Jing says, "I can't cook because Zhang will recognize the taste of my hand." Li Nai says, "It's okay. You tell Kan the recipe, he will cook." Kan says, No, I can't do all this." Hearing this, Li Nai motivates him that you can do anything. In the next scene, Kan somehow sends a dish, and Zhang tastes it and says to the waitress, "Is your chef on leave today?" The waitress says, No, he is in the kitchen." Hearing this, Li Nai tastes the dish and immediately spits it out. In the next scene, Kan had created a mess in the kitchen, meaning he had ruined everything. That's why outside, Zhang and Li Nai don't like anything. Zhang now asks the waitress, "When will the last dish arrive?" The waitress says, "Very soon." Just then, Kan again signals Li Nai to come inside. Before Zhang could see Kan, Li Nai grabs Zhang's face and says, "There's something on your lips." Zhang is shocked to see this and says, "Don't do that," so Li Nai lets him go. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to the kitchen and Kan says, "Please spare me, I can't do this anymore." So Li Nai motivates him again and says, "Today's guard of cooking is you." Hearing this, Kan agrees. In the next scene, when Zhang tastes the last dish, he understands that this is also rubbish, so he throws the dish away. Li Nai says, Yes, this is not good at all. Let's go from here now." So Zhang agrees. Now they are about to leave when Susie comes there and makes them sit down and says, "I also want to eat the food here." And smelling the food, she says, "This is very bad." Here, Kan finds out about Susie's arrival and gets very nervous. Jing Jing says, "What happened to you?" Kan says, "Susie is scarier than Jiang." Now they both are thinking about what to do when Kan's eyes fall on the light board. In the next scene, Zhang says, "Perhaps the chef here wants me to know his skills, so he made bad food." Susie says, "What do you think? Will the person challenging you be male or female?" Zhang says, "Female." Just then, Susie is about to go to call the chef when the lights go out. So Zhang calls Susie back and says, "It's gotten quite late, we should go home." Susie says that she has to go meet a friend, so you go home. Now Susie goes to the kitchen and tells Kan to come home. Kan says, "Why did you come here? You are nothing to me, right?" Susie says, "When did I say I am nothing to you? We are friends, right? Come on, say hello to me quickly." Kan says, "I don't want to be friends with you. I like you, so I won't be friends with you." Hearing this, Susie becomes serious and kisses Can tightly and says, "The truth is, I like you too." In the next scene, Lenai goes to meet Mr. Congress. Mr. Kong says, "You don't need to bring food for me daily." Lenai doesn't agree and asks, "If my competition is with Jiang, who among us will win? You tell me." Mr. Kong says, "You and Jiang are both good at cooking, so it's difficult to say who will win. Both you and Jiang don't cook from the heart. Instead, you both have a different kind of passion, meaning Jiang learned cooking to defeat his grandpa, and you learned it to take my revenge. And out of you two, only the one who cooks from the heart will win." As soon as Lenai leaves, Susie comes there because she was following Lenai. Mr. Kong is happy to see Susie. Mr. Kong now tells Susie his whole story. Hearing that, Susie starts crying and says, "Sorry, this all happened because of me." Here we find out that when Jiang takes his sister to Kong, before that, Susie had gone to Mr. Kong and said that when my brother comes to request, please refuse him, because she didn't want to leave her brother. Mr. Kong says to Susie, "It's okay. What was meant to happen has happened. Don't apologize." In the next scene, Khan asks Jiang, "Do you like Lenai?" Jiang says, "Yes, I like her, but she doesn't like me." Just then, they hear Lenai's voice, who is saying, "Please don't hit Khan. It's not his fault." When no one opens the door, Lenai enters by putting in the password herself and starts looking at Can. Jiang says, "We were just talking." Then Can and Lenai say sorry to Jiang and leave. In the next scene, Can asks Lenai, "Who told you the password?" Lenai says, "Jiang told me," which is his birth date. Can says, "That date is today. Is it Jiang's birthday today?" Just then, Lenai remembers that Jiang had said, "On my birthday, my dad used to make me beef soup." That's why Lenai also wanted to do something for him. In the next scene, Jiang was looking at his childhood photo and drinking a lot, thinking how happy my life used to be when my mom and dad were with me. Just then, the doorbell rings, and Jiang opens the door to find a lunchbox. And this lunchbox was the same one that Jiang had given Lenai during the rain. Now Jiang understands that Lenai must have brought it, and she must be somewhere nearby. So he starts looking for Lenai, but just then he faints. Before Jiang falls, Lenai catches him and takes him to her apartment. As soon as Lenai is about to lay Jiang down, Jiang falls on top of Lenai and doesn't move at all. When Jiang regains a little consciousness, he says, "Why did you come here?" Lenai says, "I came inside without permission today, so I came to say sorry to you." Jiang says, "Why did you feel today that I would hit Can? Do I seem like a bad person to you?" Lenai says, No, it's not like that." Now, Lenai starts to leave, but Jiang faints again. Lenai checks him and finds that Jiang has a very high fever. Lenai starts to call an ambulance from Jiang's phone and sees that her photo is on the wallpaper. Seeing this, Lenai is shocked and understands how important I am to Jiang. Just then, Jiang says, "Please don't call the ambulance. I'm fine now, just a little hungry." Now Jiang drinks the soup brought by Lenai and likes it a lot and says to Lenai, "Now you have become a perfect chef." Hearing this, Lenai is happy and starts to leave from there. Just then, Jiang stops Lenai and says, "If I hadn't seized Mr. Kong's knife, would I have become your favorite person?" Hearing this, Lenai says, "Nothing can be changed now." Jiang says, "Sorry," but Lenai doesn't agree. In the next scene, Mr. Kong's condition becomes very serious. The doctors take him to the operation ward. Can and Lenai are very sad. Just then, the doctor comes and says, "Mr. Kong has very little time left. Please pray for him." Hearing this, Lenai starts crying a lot. In the next scene, Lenai pulls herself together and goes to the restaurant because today was the competition, which was going to be held at Jiang's restaurant. When Lenai goes inside, the reporters say nothing to her, but as soon as Jiang ignores Lenai and goes inside, the reporters surround Jiang. Now Lenai goes inside and sees Jiang, who is ready for the competition. But Lenai couldn't go inside, wondering how she would face Jiang. Then she remembers Mr. Kong, takes the uniform and knife bag, and goes in front of everyone. Seeing Lenai, Jiang is stunned that Lenai is his opponent and has challenged him. Now Lenai shows everyone her 5-star knife and says, "I have come to take Mr. Kong's knife." Now the competition starts, and Lenai's entire focus is on making the dish, but Jiang was just looking at Lenai, which caused him to start making mistakes. Lenai was repeatedly remembering Mr. Kong's words, and Jiang makes a mistake again because of looking at Lenai, because he thinks that the girl he considers very important has challenged him. Now, they are both cooking and using their personal skills. Now Jiang's entire focus was also on making the dish. After a while, both their dishes are ready. When Jiang rings the bell, Lenai freezes hearing it because she feels something strange. On the other side, despite their best efforts, the doctors cannot save Mr. Kong, and he dies. Hearing this, Khan is very sad, and Lenai could also feel this thing. But just then, she felt as if Mr. Kong had made her press her bell. Now, after tasting, it's time for the result. 1 vote goes to Jiang, and 1 vote goes to Lenai. And when it was Can's sister's turn to vote, she also votes for Lenai. Now Lenai is shocked to see this and can't even make eye contact with Jiang. So Jiang first returns Mr. Kong's knife to Li Nai, and then starts to give his own knife to Li Nai, which Li Nai takes, but she doesn't feel good about it at all. In the next scene, Li Nai and Khan were sitting outside Mr. Kong's restaurant, missing him very much. Just then, a message of a large money transfer comes on both their mobiles. Kan says, "This was Mr. Kong's idea, that after he is gone, we should use his money safely." Hearing this, Li Nai becomes even more emotional. In the next scene, Li Nai comes outside her restaurant when the media surrounds her and says, "Did you really cheat?" Hearing this, Li Nai is surprised. So Kan sends her away from here and gets stuck in the middle of the media himself, but Suzy comes to save him. In the next scene, the media also surrounds Kan's sister and asks many questions. Kan's sister doesn't answer and goes inside and calls Yang and says, "See, the media has surrounded me. Now do something quickly. Otherwise, I will tell the public the truth." Just then, Kan also hears these things and says to his sister, "Why did you do this?" Kan's sister says, "Our company is going to be ruined very soon, so I did all this to save the company." In the next scene, Jiang was burning all his enemies' photos, but he couldn't burn Li Nai's photo and keeps it with him. Just then, Suzy comes there and tells Jiang the truth about Mr. Kong. "I was the one who told Mr. Kong to do that." Hearing this, Jiang is shocked. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to her restaurant and some absurd things were written there. Just then, a person comes and starts to hit Li Nai, but Jiang comes and saves her, and that bottle hits Jiang's forehead. Li Nai says, "Are you okay?" Jiang says, "You don't need to worry about me, nor do you need to follow me." In the next scene, Li Nai was sitting in the hospital for Jiang. Just then, Feng comes and says, "Jiang is hurt because of you and you are sitting here. Aren't you tired of giving Jiang so much pain?" Hearing this, Li Nai says sorry to him, and Feng says, "Do you know Jiang's background?" Li Nai says, "Yes, Jiang's father lost a competition, which is why he was kicked out of the house." Feng says, "No, that's not the real story." Then Feng tells her the story. Jiang's father never lost any competition, rather, Yang's father lost. But Jiang's father took the blame on himself because Yang's father had to go to a big competition from his family's side. And also, Yang's father was Grandpa's superchild. In the end, Jiang's father had to leave the family. When Jiang's father became famous by building a restaurant, his problems started increasing. We see a scene from the past in which Jiang's father was hiding Jiang in a cupboard. Just then, Yang's father came and put a knife on Jiang's father's hand and started saying that no matter how much I try to avoid you, you always come in my way. Just then, he cuts Jiang's father's hands, and Jiang saw all this happening with his own eyes. Since then, Jiang has had only one dream, to seize his uncle's and grandpa's knife. But this dream of his has been shattered because of you, that is, because of the girl whom Jiang himself taught cooking. Then, Li Nai says nothing. Just then, Jiang also came there, and the media surrounded him, asking if he was cheated in the competition. Then, Jiang looks at Li Nai and says, "No, I lost fairly. You all should end this topic here." Hearing this, the media people leave. Li Nai came to Jiang and started to apologize, but Jiang says, "I regret that I seized Master Kong's knife due to my misunderstanding, whom I couldn't even apologize to because he is no longer in this world. I will only tell you this much. There is no need to meet me again because everything between us is over now." And Jiang leaves from there. In the next scene, Li Nai goes home, and the fish that Jiang had given her also died. Seeing this, she starts crying a lot and says, "Jiang has also left me forever, and so has his fish." Li Nai's dad tries to comfort her, but she doesn't stop crying. In the next scene, Li Nai is shocked to see Kan's letter, in which he had written that he cannot work with her and has found another job. Seeing this, Li Nai feels down and starts running the restaurant alone. She manages the restaurant alone, but she was not as happy as before. In the next scene, Li Nai goes home, and her dad brings back the same kind of fish that had died. Seeing this, hope awakens in Li Nai that she can also bring Jiang back like this fish. In the next scene, Li Nai, remembering all the memories spent with Jiang, goes to his house and knocks on the door, but no one opens the door. So she starts trying the password, but Jiang had changed that password too, which is why she can't go inside. And Li Nai becomes very sad, thinking that Jiang has really left her. In the next scene, Li Nai was managing the restaurant very well. Now Jing Jing and Li Nai work together. They work together because after becoming 7-star, they wanted to change the rule of seizing knives. In the next scene, Jiang had started living in a village with Mr. Chow. Mr. Chow is the same person who had defeated Yang's father in a competition. Now, at Mr. Chow's request, Jiang had come to the market to get some ingredients, and right there, Li Nai had also come from the same village to get ingredients. When Jiang sees Li Nai, he is shocked and then starts to leave, but Li Nai also sees him and says, "Jiang, you here?" Jing Jing says, "You must be mistaken." In the next scene, Li Nai searches about that same village and finds out that Mr. Chow also lives there. And she says, "I will buy ingredients from there and also find Zhang." Then Li Nai says to her dad, "Dad, start packing. We are going somewhere far away." In the next scene, Zhang is playing a game with Mr. Chow, and Mr. Chow easily defeats Zhang and says, "Go and bring wine. 2 of my guests are coming." In the next scene, Li Nai had just reached the village and was talking to someone on the phone when her dad runs away from there. When Li Nai looks for him, she can't find her dad anywhere. In the next scene, Zhang was getting wine when a child comes and says, "I want candy for my friend." Zhang says, "Which friend?" The child says, "That uncle." Zhang is shocked to see this because this was none other than Li Nai's dad. Zhang asks, "Uncle, how are you here? And where is Li Nai?" Li Nai's dad says, "Li Nai, maybe she is lost." In the next scene, Jiang brings Li Nai's dad to the radio station and announces, "Li Nai's dad is at this address." When Li Nai hears this voice, she is shocked because she had heard Jiang's voice after a long time. In the next scene, Li Nai finally finds her father along with finding Jiang, but Jiang was completely ignoring her. So Li Nai quickly goes to Jiang and says, "Are you okay?" Jiang says, "Why did you come here? I am of no use." Li Nai requests, "Please don't say that." Jiang says, "Did you also use your father to find me?" Li Nai says, "No, it's not like that. I came to meet Mr. Chow." Just then, Mr. Chow comes there, and Li Nai says hi hello to him and says, "I am the one you talked to on the chat last night." Mr. Chow says, "Oh, so you are Chef Li Nai." In the next scene, Jiang serves lunch to everyone, and Li Nai says, "Wow, Jiang, your skills have improved even more than before." Hearing this, Jiang looks at her angrily and thinks, "I taught her everything, and now she is judging me." Just then, Mr. Chow says, "No, I made this. Jiang is just my assistant." Then Chow says to Jiang, "These are my special guests, and you will take care of them and also show them around the village." Hearing this, Jiang flatly refuses. In the next scene, Li Nai had annoyed Jiang by imitating his actions. Jiang says, "Why are you staying here instead of the hotel?" Li Nai says, "Because Mr. Chow told me I can stay here for as many days as I want." In the next scene, Mr. Chow had told Jiang to show Li Nai fresh vegetables, so Li Nai and Jiang come together to see the vegetables. Now thorns are pricking Li Nai's hand, so Jiang takes off his gloves and gives them to her. Seeing this, Li Nai is happy that Jiang still cares for me. In the next scene, Li Nai and Jiang were walking, and Jiang asks, "Is my sister okay?" Li Nai says, "Yes, she was fine. I met her just a few days ago." Now, just as Li Nai is about to fall, Jiang saves her, and they both start looking at each other. Then Jiang walks ahead. Now they are about to reach home when Li Nai shows Jiang a photo of the fish and says, "Look how well I'm taking care of it." Just then, Jiang collides with a car and gets hurt on his foot, so he sits in that same car and goes home. Jiang was feeling very insulted because everyone was looking at him. Just then, Li Nai gives Jiang her bag and says, "Hide your face with this." In the next scene, Li Nai takes great care of Jiang. She applies medicine to his foot and brings him everything. Jiang tells Li Nai there is no need to do this, but Li Nai doesn't listen. Now Jiang is about to go somewhere, and Li Nai also follows him. In the next scene, Jiang was playing a game with someone, and Li Nai bothers him a lot, which was disturbing him again and again. So Jiang sends Li Nai away from there on some pretext. In the next scene, Jiang goes to his workplace and is surprised to see Li Nai there and asks, "Who told you I am here?" Li Nai says, "Mr. Chow told me that you come here to cut wood." Jiang starts arguing with Li Nai about why she is following him. Just then, a lady sees them fighting and thinks they are a couple and says, "Seeing you two fight reminds me of my old days when I also used to fight with my husband." Jiang gets nervous and thinks, "Do we really look like a couple?" Now Jiang starts doing his work, and he had to work very hard to cut the wood. And when Li Nai does this work, she cuts the wood easily. Jiang is shocked to see this and says, "You do this work. I am going somewhere else to work." Li Nai asks, "Where?" Jiang says, "I don't need to tell you because you will find me." In the next scene, Li Nai goes home and asks Chow about Jiang, but Chow doesn't say anything. So Li Nai gives Chow some money, and Chow tells her that Jiang has gone to the second workplace, and then also gives her the address. Hearing this, Li Nai quickly goes there. In the next scene, Chow goes to his room and is shocked to see Jiang and asks, "Didn't you go to work today?" Jiang says, "No, I was very sleepy, so I hid from Li Nai and slept here." Chow says, "But I sent Li Nai to your workplace and she hasn't come back yet." In the next scene, Jiang, looking for Li Nai, came towards the jungle and started calling her name. "Li Nai, where are you?" A little further on, Jiang finds Li Nai's mobile, which makes him worried. Now, going further, Jiang finds Li Nai inside a pit, who was lying unconscious. At first, Jiang says, "I am coming, don't worry." But then he calls Chow and says, "I need your help to get out of the pit." Now Jiang also jumps into the pit to save Li Nai. Then, Jiang gives Li Nai his jacket and says, "Wear this because it's getting colder." Then Li Nai wears half the jacket herself and shares the other half with Jiang and says, "I came here looking for you, and I am very ashamed that I did wrong to you. Please, can you forgive me?" Jiang says, "How can I forget that moment when you were my opponent? You had become very important to me, but now I have no desire to be friends with you. So it would be better if you leave me and let me be alone." Hearing this, Li Nai becomes quiet, realizing how much Jiang hates her now. Just then, Chao arrives with help. In the next scene, in the morning when Jiang comes out, Chao says, "Li Nai has left from here." Hearing this, Jiang is sad and starts playing a game with Chao. This time, Jiang defeats Chao with full focus. Then Jiang says, "Now you remember your promise, right? That you will give me your knife." Chao says, "Yes." In the next scene, Chao takes Jiang to his wife's grave and gives him the knife. Jiang takes the knife and says, "Will you accept me as a student?" Chao agrees. Scene, Li Nai is sitting in her restaurant when Susie comes and says, "Where is my brother? He has come back. Some people have seen him." Hearing this, Li Nai is surprised. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to Jiang's apartment and knocks on the door, but some other person opens the door. Seeing this, Li Nai is sad. Just then, the person says, "Mr. Zhang, you should be the head chef of our restaurant," and then leaves from there. Now Li Nai is happy to see Zhang and starts welcoming him back. But Zhang was not at all interested in talking to her. So he says, "What have you come here to do?" Li Nai says, "I need to talk to you about something important," and then forcefully pushes her way inside. At first, Li Nai says nothing but stares at Jiang non-stop and then says to Jiang, "Don't become the head chef of someone else's restaurant, but become the head chef of my restaurant." Jiang says, "Are you crazy to think so? And I can't forget that my restaurant was closed because of you." Just then, Jiang gets a call from a person who also offers Jiang to be the head chef of his restaurant. But Li Nai hears this and insists, "Please, you become the head chef of my restaurant. I will also help you take revenge on your grandpa, and I will also return your knife to you." Hearing this, Jiang gets close to Li Nai, which makes Li Nai nervous. So Jiang stands up and says, "Very soon, your restaurant's review check is going to happen. If you clear it, I will think about it." Hearing this, Li Nai agrees. In the next scene, Jing Jing says to Li Nai, "Today, the review people will definitely come as customers, so we have to keep an eye on the customers and take full care of them." Now, as the customers come, Li Nai takes good care of them. But as soon as Can comes, Li Nai is shocked to see him and says, "Where have you been all this time?" But Can doesn't answer Li Nai's questions and starts checking the menu. Li Nai says, "Have you forgotten that you made this menu? Now why are you staring at it? Have you gone mad to be acting like this?" Can says, "Don't you have any manners to talk to your customers?" and then orders 2 dishes. Li Nai gets very angry at this. Before she can hit Kan, Jing Jing comes and takes her away and tells her, "That person is Kan, who is the one to check our restaurant." In the next scene, Li Nai closes the restaurant and is going home when Can starts stopping Li Nai to talk. Li Nai slaps Kan so hard that he is in a bad state. In the next scene, Kan tells Li Nai everything about how Yang, along with my sister, wanted to bring down your restaurant's rating and has further plans. Hearing this, Li Nai is shocked and calls Jing Jing to tell her, but Can doesn't tell Li Nai that in the competition, not you, but Jiang had won, because hearing this, Li Nai would be hurt. In the next scene, Li Nai started trying to win over Jiang, so she sometimes annoyed Jiang in the lift, sometimes at the fruit market, and sometimes during morning jogging. But Jiang was not paying any attention to her at all. Li Nai was doing all this so that Jiang would stop hating her and they could become friends again. That's why Li Nai apologized many times, but Jiang didn't agree. In the next scene, Jiang was going somewhere when Li Nai comes there and says, "I have to go somewhere, please drop me off." Jiang says, "Okay, but first check the back of my car to see what is written there." Li Nai goes to the back of the car to see, and Jiang leaves from there, and Li Nai is left standing there. In the next scene, the person who had offered Jiang the head chef position on the call, his name was Cao. They were having a meeting. "You should work in our restaurant." Just then, Yang's father, Shan, comes there and says, "Hey, Mr. Cao, who are you hiring in your restaurant?" "Someone who lost to a girl, and that too, who was his junior." Mr. Cao says, "This is our personal matter, so please don't come in between our meeting." Hearing this, Jiang starts laughing, so Shan asks, "Why are you laughing?" Jiang says, "I am surprised that no one respects you." Hearing this, Shan gets angry and starts throwing a drink at Jiang. Just then, Li Nai comes in between and saves Jiang, and teaching Shan a lesson says, "I know about all your deeds, how you cheated your own brother, and are now jealous of his son." Hearing this, Shan angrily says to Jiang, "How dare you tell about family secrets?" Jiang says, "I'll do whatever I want." At the same time, Li Nai says, "Before I tell the whole world about this, you should leave from here because everyone sitting here has a camera that is recording." Shan leaves in anger. Just then, Jiang got close to Li Nai and started cleaning her coat. Li Nai says, "See, my coat got dirty because of you." Now buy me a new coat. In the next scene, Li Nai and Jiang are leaving when Li Nai is about to bump into something, and Jiang, as always, saves her. Li Nai says, "Why do you always save me like this?" Jiang says, "Because you are short." In the next scene, they both go to a shop to buy a coat, but the tailor is not there, so Li Nai says to Jiang, "Now you will have to take my size." Jiang is shocked and says, "What are you saying?" But on Li Nai's insistence, Jiang agrees and starts taking Li Nai's size very lovingly, which makes the moment a little romantic. Now Jiang asks, "Why do you want to make me the head chef of your restaurant?" Li Nai says, "Because I want to work with you, and together we can take revenge on your grandpa and uncle." Jiang says, "First, you have to pass the review, which you won't be able to do with Yang around." Now, as Jiang is about to leave, Li Nai stops him and says, "I also need to take your size, and you will see. I will pass the review check. I have an idea for which I have come here, so that I can take your chef uniform size." Jiang refuses, saying he won't become the chef of her restaurant. Hearing this, Li Nai stares at Jiang angrily and doesn't let him go. Jiang was also starting to get attracted to Li Nai, but just then, the owner of the shop comes there. In the next scene, Li Nai goes to meet Jiang's grandpa. Grandpa welcomes Li Nai and says, "Your grandpa used to be my friend." Li Nai also talks nicely to Grandpa and says, "I need your help for the review check." Grandpa says, "You are such a good chef yourself, so what help do you need from me?" Then Li Nai shows Grandpa a video in which Li Nai's restaurant was attacked and all the things were broken. Now, Li Nai says, "You must have recognized who this person is." Hearing this, Grandpa remains silent because he understood that this is my younger son, Shan. Li Nai says, "This is your son Shan, and not only him, but your grandson Yang also wants to shut down my restaurant." Grandpa says, "I will talk to Yang, and as for the review, I will have it passed fairly." In the next scene, Jing Jing and Li Nai are very happy because their restaurant had passed. Just then, Jiang comes there and says, "Is there any job for me?" Li Nai is happy to see Jiang. In the next scene, Jiang comes wearing a chef's uniform, and Li Nai keeps looking at him and adjusts Jiang's dress very lovingly. In the next scene, Grandpa scolds Yang a lot, and Yang says, "Please forgive me, I will not do anything like this in the future." In the next scene, Li Nai goes to her dad when she gets a call from someone, "There is a crowd outside your restaurant." Hearing this, Li Nai quickly goes outside her restaurant and finds out that these are just girls who are fans of Jiang. As Jiang comes there, these girls quickly go to Jiang and click photos. In the next scene, the restaurant opens, and Li Nai was thinking that she will now spend time with Jiang, but just then, Jiang's fans are calling Jiang again and again, sometimes to praise the food and sometimes to click photos with Jiang. Seeing this, Li Nai gets very angry and becomes jealous. Now when the girls call Jiang again, Li Nai goes to them and says, "Can I help you?" Then those girls say, "No, we want to meet Jiang." Hearing this, Li Nai gets jealous again, and Jiang is smiling seeing this. Just then, a person comes there who is a regular customer of Li Nai's restaurant. Li Nai welcomes him well and starts joking with him, and Jiang gets jealous seeing this. In the next scene, all the customers had left, and Li Nai was about to close the restaurant when that same male customer comes there again and says, "Will you go to the movies with me tomorrow?" Just then, Jiang comes in anger and says, "No, Li Nai has a lot of work tomorrow." So the person says, "Then we will go the day after tomorrow." Hearing this, Jiang says, "No, Li Nai has work every day now." Hearing this, Li Nai feels strange about how angrily Jiang is talking, so she takes the person outside to talk alone. In the next scene, as soon as Li Nai comes back after talking, Jiang says to her, "But you were saying that nothing is going on between you two." Li Nai doesn't listen to him, so Jiang blocks her in one place and says, "Are you really going to watch a movie with him?" Li Nai says, "No, I have refused him, but why are you so angry?" Jiang finally reveals, "I have liked you for a long time." Hearing this, Li Nai is very happy, so Jiang says, "What do you think about me?" So Li Nai also confesses that she also likes him. Hearing this, Jiang is very happy and is about to kiss Li Nai when Jing Jing comes there and takes Li Nai with her. But then Li Nai comes back and says to Jiang, "Be ready tomorrow because tomorrow is our first date, Mr. Boyfriend." Hearing this, Jiang is shocked, and after Li Nai leaves, Jiang repeatedly thinks about this and smiles. At night, Jiang was repeatedly thinking about Li Nai, which is why he couldn't sleep or cook. In the next scene, the same situation was with Li Nai, who was also remembering Jiang. Just then, the doorbell rings, and Li Nai opens the door to find Jiang. Li Nai says, "What are you doing here?" Jiang says, "I came to meet your father." Li Nai says, "Dad is not here. He has gone to meet his friend. You sit, I will bring you water." As Li Nai comes to get water, Jiang comes behind Li Nai and directly kisses her because they are now in a love relationship. In the next scene, in the morning after waking up, Li Nai was just looking at Jiang and feeling happy. But as soon as she finds out that her dad has come, she gets worried and tells Jong to hide. As dad comes inside, Lee Nai says, "How did you come so early?" Dad says, "I came early because today is your school day. You will be late," and starts to take Lee Nai with him. But then he says to Lee Nai, "You get ready, I will clean your room." Lee Nai starts to stop Dad, but Jong was not under the blanket, which is why she starts looking around the whole room and sees the cabinet shaking, which makes her understand that Jong is in the cabinet. Now Lee Nai's dad asks her, "Are you dating someone?" Lee Nai says, "No, why do you think so?" Just then, Dad shows Lee Nai a hair and says, "This is short, which means it's not yours." Lee Nai says, "Dad, this is yours," and then makes Dad sit and says, "Look how much hair fall you're having." Now Jiang secretly runs away, but his coat was left here. In the next scene, Lee Nai comes to give Jiang the coat, and Jiang kisses Lee Nai and says bye to her lovingly and leaves. In the next scene, Jiang and Lee Nai are having lunch together and remembering their memories. Just then, Jing Jing comes there, and Lee Nai quickly pushes Jiang and goes to Jing Jing. Jing Jing asks Lee Nai, "Are you two dating each other?" Lee Nai denies it because she wanted to keep their relationship hidden for now. In the next scene, Jiang was very hurt and was not forgiving Lee Nai, even after she asked him to. That's why Lee Nai kisses Jiang, and now they both start kissing each other lovingly. In the next scene, Jing Jing brings a little girl with her and says to Lee Nai, "This is my relative's child. Can you take care of her for one day?" Lee Nai agrees. In the next scene, Jiang goes to his house and sees Lee Nai and that little girl sitting outside. He asks Lee Nai, "Who is this child?" Lee Nai says, "This is Jing Jing's relative's child, and I have to take care of her today. Can we take her with us?" Jiang agrees. In the next scene, the three of them go for a walk where Jiang, Lee Nai, and that little girl have a lot of enjoyment. And Lee Nai and Jiang were also spending a good time. In the next scene, when Jiang and Lee Nai are at home, Jiang says, "The baby has fallen asleep." Lee Nai says, "We will have 2 babies of our own because if there are 2 of them, they will keep playing with each other, and we will get a chance to spend time." Hearing this, Jiang starts to blush. And now, as they kiss each other, they start hearing a strange noise. When Lee Nai and Jiang check, that little girl had messed up the whole room. Lee Nai says, "But you said she was asleep." Jiang says, "Yes, she was asleep at that time." In the next scene, Jing Jing gives Lee Nai an invitation card, and this card was for an all-chef meeting which was at Jiang's grandpa's house. In the next scene, when Jiang and Lee Nai reach grandpa's house, Yang welcomes them well and shows them their cooking area. In the next scene, Susie is standing alone when Khan comes to her and puts a jacket on her and says, "Give me a little time, then I will tell you where I disappeared for 2 months." Susie angrily throws Khan's jacket and says, "I don't want any relation with you now, so why are you following me?" Hearing this, Khan is sad and starts to leave. Susie also doesn't like her words and is also sad. Just then, Khan comes back and directly kisses Susie and says, "I can't keep you away from me, nor can I see you with anyone else." Then Susie stands quietly, and everything becomes fine between them. In the next scene, the party starts, and the host here is Khan. He says, "Today, I am going to tell you an unfair story." And then he tells the story of Jiang and Yang's fathers. Hearing this, everyone is shocked, and Grandpa starts to get nervous. Why is he telling our family's secrets? Just then, Jiang is very happy that finally his father's image will be cleared. In the next scene, Yang also calls his father to the party, but his father has no idea what has happened here. Just then, Mr. Chow enters, seeing whom everyone is shocked. Then Chow tells the whole story to everyone, how Grandpa gave me money to lie to the media and how Jiang's father had to face so many difficulties. Hearing this, Grandpa starts acting like he doesn't know anything about this, and "Jiang, my son, I don't know that your father had to face so much." Hearing this, Jiang says, "Are you still worried about your image? And you are not admitting your mistake?" Then Jiang goes to Shan and says, "You accept everything, including that you cut my father's hands." Hearing this, everyone is surprised, even Susie, and she says to Jiang, "What are you saying?" Then Jiang tells the whole incident of that day, hearing which Susie also gets angry, and Grandpa too, and they say to Shan, "How could you do this? How could you cut your own brother's hands? Because of your stubbornness, I kicked him out of the house." Hearing this, Shan accepts everything, and all the chefs are surprised, and Jiang is very happy. Just then, Grandpa's health deteriorates, and he is taken to the hospital. In the next scene, Lee Nai is standing outside when Yang comes there and says, "I need to talk to you." But Lee Nai starts to leave from there. So Yang says, "Don't you want to know the truth about who won the competition that day?" Hearing this, Lee Nai gets into the car with him, and Jiang sees all this. In the next scene, Yang tells Lee Nai the whole truth that Jiang had won the competition that day. "And at my request, Kan's sister made you win." Hearing this, Lee Nai says, "Whatever bad has happened to Jiang till now, I will take revenge for all of it." Saying this, she starts to leave when Jiang calls her from above. Seeing this, Lee Nai is happy and says, "How are you here?" and then hugs Jiang tightly. In the next scene, Susie goes to the hospital to meet Grandpa and says, "The son for whom you kicked out your other son didn't even come to see you today, and I was going to forgive you from the bottom of my heart, but you all bullied my dad so much and cut his hands. Now I am leaving you." After she leaves, Grandpa starts to feel regret. In the next scene, Jang tells Suzy, "You make this news viral that I am going to have a knife competition with Lee Nai. In this way, we will ruin Yang's plan." In the next scene, Lee Nai says to Jang, "The competition between us was not fair, so now I want to compete again." After Lee Nai insists a lot, Jang agrees. In the next scene, they both are ready to race because there was no need for a judge here. Now, in this competition, Jang wins. So Lee Nai hugs him and is very happy. Jang is also happy to see Lee Nai. In the next scene, Kan and Suzy get a court marriage and are very happy. In the next scene, the competition starts and Suzy and Kan come there. Yang says, "Are you crazy to take help from your opponent's partner?" Just then, Jiang and Lee Nai come there. Lee Nai says, "Kan was my partner, but not anymore." At that moment, Suzy and Kan show their rings, and Suzy says, "From now on, Kan is my husband. Don't stop him for anything now." In the next scene, Kan is leaving when his sister says to him, "Aren't you ashamed to ignore your sister?" Kan says, "If you were my sister, you wouldn't have supported Yang like this." The sister says, "I am doing all this to save the company." Kan says, "Sister, I have grown up now and can help you. Please believe me, we will have a little loss, but everything will be fine." Hearing this, the sister starts thinking about something. Yang overhears all their conversation and calls a person and says, "Pick up Lee Nai's father." Just then, Jiang's assistant was also standing near Yang, who is shocked to hear this. In the next scene, a person goes to Lee Nai's dad and says, "Lee Nai has sent me to pick you up." Hearing this, Lee Nai's dad agrees. In the next scene, Lee Nai finds out that her dad is standing downstairs, so she starts to leave and is told, "If you don't come back in 5 minutes, you will be declared defeated." Lee Nai says, "I will be back in 5 minutes." In the next scene, Yang tells someone, "Lee Nai is about to go into the lift. Close it." Here, as soon as Lee Nai goes into the lift stops. In the next scene, Jiang was waiting for Lee Nai when Jiang's assistant comes to him and says, "Lee Nai is in danger." In the next scene, Jiang, Kan, and Suzy go to find Lee Nai and find out that Lee Nai is in the lift. Suzy and Kan go back to the competition, and Jiang says to Lee Nai, "Are you okay? And are you getting oxygen?" But Lee Nai was only worried about the competition. In the next scene, Yang says, "It's been a long time Lee Nai hasn't come." Just then, the host says, "If Lee Nai doesn't come, Xu will be announced the winner." Now the host starts the countdown, and Jiang comes there and says, "I will compete on Lee Nai's side." Hearing this, Yang says, "You are just an assistant and only a head chef can fight in a competition." But just then, Kan comes there and says, "Jiang is the head chef there." Yang asks for proof, so Kan shows a note in which Lee Nai had written that Jiang is the head chef of this restaurant. Seeing this, Yang sits down quietly. Now the competition starts, and both use their skills to prepare a dish, which goes for checking by the judges. Now it's time for the result. One vote is given to Suzy, and the second vote to Jiang. Now it was time for the last vote, which Kan's sister had to give. Now, just as she is about to vote, Kan says, "Can I know if you will give this vote fairly or not?" Kan's sister says, "I will give this opinion after the vote." Now, Kan's sister was about to vote for Suzy and make her win when a recording plays throughout the hall, which was a conversation between Yang and Kan's sister. And this was from the time when Lee Nai and Jiang had a competition. Just then, Yang runs and stops the recording and says, No, nothing like this happened." Just then, Lee Nai comes with that assistant and says, "Yang intentionally made Jiang lose, and he has tried to buy many restaurants, so he doesn't want Jiang and Lee Nai to win because his plan will be ruined." Yang says, "This girl is lying. Jiang has bought her." Lee Nai says, "Okay, then we will ask Kan's sister for the truth." Just then, Yang goes to Kan's sister and says, "Tell them that all the accusations against me are false." Hearing this, Kan's sister says, "Whatever that assistant said is true. I intentionally made Jiang lose at Yang's request." Saying this, she votes for Jiang. Now the police are also called there, and with Suzy's defeat and Jiang's victory, their family knife, which was Jiang's grandpa's, was given to Jiang, and grandpa's restaurant was also closed. In the next scene, a scene from 1 month later is shown, where Kan and Suzy are in the hospital, meaning Suzy is about to have a baby, and they both are very happy. In the next scene, Jing Jing and Lee Nai were watching a video where all these chefs together had changed the rule of seizing knives. Jing Jing says, "Now I am also going to open my own restaurant." Hearing this, Lee Nai is happy, and Jing Jing takes the 7-star board and leaves. Just then, Jiang comes there, and Lee Nai directly hugs him, and both enjoy this moment. Jiang says, "Kan and Suzy are also married now. When will we get married?" Lee Nai says, "Very soon." Now, they both hug each other tightly, and here the drama has a happy ending.